What is going on, everybody? This is another challenge tutorial all about trapped pieces. Make sure to check out the link in the description to a playlist of all the other tutorials which are challenges. They range from back rank to opposition to interference and a lot more. With that being said, let's jump into problem number 1, and this one is on the easier side, but they still will transist from easy to hard. They just don't get too hard. This position kicks off the tutorial with white to move, and we'll give you 3 seconds to pause the video to allow yourself as much time as you need to figure it out. 1, 2, and 3. The move is pawn to b4, striking out at that dark squared bishop on a5. The only square the bishop has to retreat is b6. We'll give you 3 more seconds to pause the video to figure out the continuation. 1, 2, and 3. The move is pawn to c5, trapping that dark squared bishop. This next position comes out of the Petrov, or better known as the Russian game. e4, e5, knight f3, knight f6, knight capture e5, knight capture e4, queen e2, and if the knight goes back to f6, big no-no. Give you 3 seconds to go ahead and pause the video. 1, 2, and 3. The proper move is knight to c6, and that's a discovery check. And no matter what black does, they only have 3 options, whether knight to e4, queen to e7, or bishop to e7. The knight is able to capture the queen, and you're going to have an excellent game from there. In this next position, it is white's turn to move. We'll give you 3 seconds to pause the video if you need. 1, 2, and 3. The best move is bishop to g5, hitting the queen, and the queen has no escape squares. Their best option is just to capture the bishop, and you could recapture the knight and have an excellent game from there. It is white to move. We'll give you 3 seconds to go ahead and pause the video. 1, 2, and 3. The only good move here is queen to d4 check. No matter if the knight blocks the check or the king moves, queen to g7 can hit the rook in the corner that is currently blocked in and trapped by its own knight. In this position, black captures the a2 pawn, and it's your move. Give you 3 seconds to pause the video. 1, 2, and 3. The proper move is blocking in the bishop by pushing b3, and now it can't get out in the next turn, and black is going to push a5, and we'll give you 3 seconds to pause the video to figure out the continuation. 1, 2, and 3. Rook to a1 immediately will win the bishop. There's nothing that they can do. Their best option is just to take the pawn, and you can recapture, and you'll be up a minor piece, and you'll have an excellent game from here. In this position, white is in check from the black knight. We'll give you 3 seconds to pause the video. 1, 2, and 3. The proper move is king to c6. c5 doesn't work because then the knight can come over to d7 checking the king, and that's a draw position. So king to c6, and the knight will go to a8. We'll give you 3 seconds to pause the video for the continuation. 1, 2, and 3. The move is king to b7, honing in on the knight in the corner, and the knight only has 2 squares it can jump to, and both of them, if it does, will get captured by the king, and the black king is just a little too slow to come in for the rescue. In this position, it is white to play. I'll give you 3 seconds to pause the video so you can take as much time as you need. 1, 2, and 3. The proper move is bishop to f3, check, forcing the king to h2. The continuation, we'll give you 3 seconds to figure that out and pause the video. 1, 2, and 3. The only move which doesn't draw the game is bishop to d5, and that cuts off all squares for the knight to escape from the edge, and you can walk your king over, capture the pawn, and then promote yours shortly after. This next position, it is white to move. We'll give you 3 seconds to pause the video. 1, 2, and 3. The best move is king to f5 with a discovered check with your bishop. King only has 1 move, and that's sidestepping to b8. And we'll give you 3 seconds to pause the video for the continuation. White to move. 1, 2, and 3. The move is king to g6, attacking the pair, the rook and the bishop, simultaneously. black cannot sidestep or get out of danger with both pieces at once, their best move is putting the rook in the corner, and you're free to go ahead and chomp on the bishop, and you're going to have a winning position from here. The rook has to move out of the way, and when it does, you can go ahead and move your king to h6 and start marching the g-pawn for a promotion. In this position, it is white to move. We'll give you 3 seconds to pause the video. 1, 2, and 3. You might be tempted to move the knight for a discovery attack with the rook on the queen, but it's much simpler. Bishop to c3 totally traps the queen, and black queen best move is to capture the bishop. We recapture with the knight, and you're going to have an excellent finish from here. This position comes out of the classical variation of the Caro-Kann. We'll give you 3 seconds to pause the video. 1, 2, and 3. The move is bishop to g5, trapping the queen. Now black does have a way to get out of this, and that is capturing the bishop with the h6 pawn. And by us recapturing their pawn, attacking the queen again, that creates a totally new threat with the rook in the corner on h8. The queen has to resolve the threat to itself with the pawn, so if it captures the pawn or it backs out of harm's way, now we get to capture their rook on h8. So in a nutshell, just to recap, the threat of the trapped queen we used to create a different threat on a different part of the board where we did end up with an advantage. Well, that wraps up this trapped piece tutorial. I hope that you guys enjoyed it and learned a little something. As I said, it was more on the easy side compared to some of the other challenge tutorials I've come out with. Make sure to check the link in the description to all the other challenge tutorials. There's a lot of good material in there. Maybe drop a comment and let me know what kind of challenge tutorial you want me to make next. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you on the next video. Ciao.